Namaste and welcome to the Manchester United agenda on Monday, the 4th of March, 2023. 2024, actually. I know. Amonde, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. I'm wondering how you are. You've been away. You've been missed. People have missed you. Just tell us about your trip to sunny Spain.
Yeah, so I went to the south of Spain. I went on a Game of Thrones tour, which I really enjoyed. I played a bit of football. I ate very badly or very well, depending on how you view things. And I missed a hell of a lot of mad stuff that was going on in the UK. Like, I've come back to all sorts of things going on.
You've only been gone a few days, though, haven't you?
Yeah, but it was interesting. It was interesting, but I highly recommend everyone in February or March get out of this country for a couple of days and go somewhere where there's a little bit of sun.
What was the weather like then?
Well, actually, it wasn't great, but it was about 20 degrees.
That's nice, yeah.
Yeah, it's just a really, really nice place, and it also meant that I didn't have to deal with the Manchester derby, which we got to deal with today.
Good timing. But yeah, like you said, we have to deal with it today. But I want to talk about your football. You play football over there. Are you registered to play, or were you being a ringer?
Of course, I was being a ringer. I called myself Luis Torrente.
Put a little moustache on.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously, you don't need to be registered for five-a-side. But like, so I played five-a-side, and then I played in like the Sunday League equivalent, and very slow game, to be honest.
So what's the contrast? Let's talk about the contrast with Spanish football and the football you're playing over here.
Is this what people want to hear, do you think?
I'm asking. I want to know.
All right, fair enough.
I don't care what people think in the comments just yet. This is the intro.
No risk taking is the big thing. Like, I mean, I played in Spain for 18 months at a decent level. And the thing is that we imitate what we see in the leagues above us. Like, so in park football for the first, in Sunday League football, for the first 5 minutes, people try and be compact. They'll try and play two touch. They'll move it around a bit. And then someone will boot it and the game will start. And you get strikers just running off like into crazy places. But in Spain, they're terrified of losing the ball. Absolutely terrified of it. And I am not scared of losing the ball because I enjoy most aspects of football, but I really enjoy the defensive aspects. So I like counter pressing. I like, squeezing the game up and things like that. But a lot of it it's kind of like, I imagine it's like playing for Brighton or something. It's just a centre back with his foot on the ball, waiting for some baker to come and tackle him. And it's very slow and stuff, but I managed to get it going a little bit with a couple of carries.
What about playing in that sort of temperature? And do they say "ole" when they pass the balls? Ole, ole, ole.
No,
is it that kind of temper?
No, hot air is normally what you hear, but it was 20 degrees Celsius on Monday. It's not like
but you've been playing in the snow and rain the last few weeks.
Yeah,
when you had that game.
No, we're just sort of like as humans, we're quite durable, aren't we? So we can play in -2 and we can play in 20 degrees without too much of a difference. The only problem I had is that on the flight on the way back, I really missed my leg compressors, which are like these kind of trousers that you put on that massage you, and they're one of the best things I've ever bought.
Diva.
Not a diva. Just look. I'm gonna talk to the comments. All right, Andrew Williams, namaste, you hippie bastard. I said namaste because I saw a clip the other day of someone punching someone in a film and then shouting namaste at them, and I found it very funny. Dobry večer to Dora.
Dora. Thanks for yesterday, Dora. She's done a brilliant post-match reaction show with us. Great numbers as well. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, huge numbers. Well done, guys. I watched a little bit of that, and I was surprised on Monday that you started off toxically positive, but you seemed to get a bit annoyed the more you talked about the game.
Yeah, it's hard. 10 minutes, 15 minutes after the game, when you really break it down. I was annoyed with players because they're the ones putting the manager under pressure. And when you really saw the game, I thought some of the goals could have been prevented. It wasn't for certain players.
We'll get into that. We'll get into that later. We've got Christine Howley saying good
Hi,
evening with a
Christine.
little kiss.
Mwah.
Thank you. We've got Andrew Williams saying evening, Dorino and Christine. Have you trained your dog to come and kiss you when you say I want?
Yes. Yeah. Don't make me say kiss because then she will jump up.
Andrew is saying monkey see, monkey do. Pretty much, Andrew. Like, I don't know if I'm not sure if you go to the Sunday leagues, Andrew, but there's been a thing that's happened recently that I find very funny. Are you getting this on Monday? Where, you know, in the Premier League, like players have kind of cut their socks around the calf.
Yeah.
Like, I've started noticing it, like in games we're playing. And I've seen people like covering their mouth, like when they're talking.
Oh, no way! No way! That's what you do to one of these. Take that, you little bitch.
You just laugh at them, don't you?
Wow.
Well, we deserve better. You sound very well, Bath Time, and on Monday you look very well. Thank you. We deserve better. You look fantastic in that photo.
He's after something. He's after something, guys.
Anyone thinks, I don't know how to pronounce that.
Unganu, Cameroon, yes.
Knocks out Joshua. I'd be very surprised myself.
Can happen. He's got a very powerful punch. I'll be looking forward to that fight. Friday, not Saturday, guys. It's this Friday that fight's on. Everyone tune into that if you can. It's going to be great spectacle. MMA against a boxer. A bit like Rocky III when Hulk Hogan fought Rocky.
Thunder Lips.
Thunder Lips, that's the one. Yeah. So make sure you tune in, guys.
I think it's an absolute disgrace. It's like the Champions League final having like Wrexham versus the Harlem Globetrotters or something. Joshua should be fighting actual fighters, not MMA guys, despite how good he looked against Fury.
He is credible. After that Fury thing, he is credible. And people want to see this. It's like I've been reading lately. I love athletics and boxing. In athletics, they're talking about having an enhanced games, which would mean people doped up to the eyeballs and then people running 8 seconds maybe for the 100 meters. People want to see that. This is the era we're in where people want to see all outrageous things going on the sports arena. So this is a part of it. This is a spectacle with Ngannou coming over. He's been put over by Fury. He's been put over by what he did in UFC, and he's going on. He's getting. There's no warm-up fights. He's going fighting big guys, top guys already. So it's a spectacle, and I'm sure as much as we criticize it, we will all be tuned in.
Yeah, it's just for me. Like when you talk about like people want to see people like doped up and all this kind of stuff. Like it makes it into two things. First thing is I always want to see a normal bloke in the athletics. Like in the 100 meters or something, a decent county level sprinter with them just to see how powerful they are and things. Because you never get any scale for it on the television. It's true. Like, I'd love to, everyone thinks Tom Cruise is quite fast. That sort of hand action. I actually looked up once what his top speed was and compared it to Harry Maguire, and Harry Maguire was faster. I don't know if you remember that.
But I'll tell you something, in the Olympics or the big majors like that, in the early rounds, you get qualifiers have come in. They have qualifying times, don't you, to qualify for Olympics. But a few years ago, I remember seeing a Samoan guy who was looked like he should be doing shot put or sumo wrestling. He did the 100 meters and it was I think he got something like 15 seconds. But for him, that's fast. But obviously, he was left 5 seconds behind the rest. So, yeah, not very competitive.
Well, Olympian, I might be faster at than the 100 meters. But the other thing it reminds me of, this is a massive digression, but do you know who Mr. Beast is?
Mr. who?
Mr. Beast.
I thought you said Mr. B. I said, of course I know who Mr. B is, yeah.
No. Well,
who's Mr. Beast?
He's a YouTuber, and what he does is he does things like, I gave £500,000 to a homeless man, or something like that, and it's outrageous amounts of money for things like if you keep your hand on this plane longer than everyone else, you win the plane, and it's stuff like that. And I think what's happening in our modern age is that everything has to be more extreme. So it genuinely wouldn't surprise me if we do just pump someone full of juice and say all bets are off. Let's just just have it. And I'm not sure about that. I don't think that athletics should be who's got access to the best stuff, like Ivan Drago. Rocky beat him just throwing trees about.
And running the show like you do in Wells.
Yeah.
During the
And then
winter.
he ended communism in that film. It was amazing.
If I can, then we can. Everybody can, or whatever he said. But yeah, that is a top movie, Rocky IV, you talk about there. But yeah, I think going back to the drugs in sports, as we've seen with one of our ex players, Pogba, he's been banned. But it's so inconsistent, the testing and things. People are always one step ahead if you've got the right backing, I believe. And I think the top guys at the top of any sport, there's been someone credible has said that in most sports, there's about 80% into top level sports are using some sort of sports enhancing.
They do it in chess.
Drugs, yeah. In chess.
Like, someone in chess has been banned for taking, I don't know, some sort of serotonin uptake inhibitor or something to make them think better. But absolutely crazy. But I want to talk about Pogba. I also need to do these comments.
Sorry, guys, we've been stalling.
Yeah, bath time. Is that a new microphone or sun positivity? Neither. I just did a lot of emails today. We deserve better, and I managed to smash them. Bath time is the Mariah Carey of the United Agenda. Certainly am.
Oh, God.
I love Mariah Carey.
Can I just say, before we came on, I came on about 2 minutes to go. We've given out already like a diva. So, yeah, I've already been told off.
Yeah. And rightly so. Ed Mayhem, it's just a moneymaker. I do believe if it were a serious fight for a title, Fury would have won comfortably. I can't remember the fight, but Fury just jabbed him out after taking a couple of hits, didn't he? He didn't want to trade.
No, he did. You could feel the power, and he did win the fight, in my opinion, even though he got dropped. Showed more control, but Ngannou showed for this first fight that he's credible. And if he starts swinging and because doing 10 rounds is tough. I was talking to a boxer the other day who's actually my maintenance man. He's an Iranian guy, and he's coming. I just found out he's a boxer, professional boxing, and because I love boxing, we were chatting, having a good old chat.
He's still training.
No way. He's a middleweight, but he caned me for sure. And he's got a few teeth missing as well. He's 40 years old. He still trains regular down in Brixton. And I said, well, what? I asked him about his professional career. He's done 10 rounders. And I don't think you can gauge. You do a minute of boxing with someone coming at you, that adrenaline and everything else. No matter how fit you are, you're going to be blowing. Doing 3 rounds is amateur style, is blowing. When you start doing 6 rounds, 8 rounds, 10 rounds, you have to pace yourself. So I think Ngannou, after doing 10 rounds with Fury, he must feel a bit frustrated because he probably had a bit more in the tank, and I think he will push a bit more this time.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting one for sure. And speaking of interesting people, it's Yali Malmin, all the way from Skyrim. I used to run fast back in the day. 60 minutes, 7.3 seconds.
Can I just say, the women, they run just under 7 seconds for the 60 meters. So 7.3 is a competitive time. You would have probably made the semi-finals of the women's 60-meter World Championships, which was just held in Glasgow over the weekend.
I think Yali might be a man, but if he isn't, there you go, new career for you. I bet you that's his school record or something. Like he remembers that really well. Andrew is bringing up something that I can't show. But it's a conspiracy theory about how a guy cheated in chess. And it's true. It's not true. It's true that it's a theory. But I've seen it before. It was an accusation made. Dora is saying in 12 minutes, you guys covered 6 different sports, and I love it.
We haven't done water polo yet.
Yeah. Do not Google what Andrew is talking about unless you've got a privacy tab. You don't want that coming up. But it is true that's a big rumor.
That's funny.
All right. This is the show that I've got for the 11 people watching this evening. Right, we're going to have a little talk about the derby. I've animated 2 of the goals, which normally we can do like an hour and a half on them. It won't be very long. We got some pony news, international breaking point, and I've got a picture of a dog that I liked. As you can tell, I've only spent 25 minutes preparing the show tonight because I had emails to do. But do any of these interest you, Monday?
The dog does. I'm a dog lover, as you know. So the dog thing, I want to save that to last. I'm intrigued.
Yes, the dog is the last one. We'll do it. All right.
I was going to say the dog should take the lead, but that's not really.
Oh no, that's quite good for you.
Yeah.
Oh
right. Yes. Okay. This is even better.
So some Amrabat news. Tell me when you watch him play now. You just, I mean,
I can't get away with it. That it can't come out of mind. Oh boy, poor guy.
I know, but I mean, like I mean, Casemiro didn't give him the easiest ball in the world, but the way he took it was amateurish. Like I can't believe he did that. But anyway, Fiorentina are really concerned that Amrabat has been so poor that they're not going to get much money for him when his loan spell finishes, which is a pretty damning testament to his time at United. Personally, I thought he did all right. Was it Luton away? Or who did we play? Second half, he did all right.
We played Forest the other day.
Forest away, I think.
Okay, Forest, yeah.
So I'm just going to check, see if there's anything. No. Dora's asking about, is there a bold Shetland pony? I'm not here to hair shame Shetland ponies. But Fiorentina have a brain should be the headline of this article. Poor old Amrabat. He tries, doesn't he? But I don't know. He's just not very good. And it's a shame because we all wanted it to work out. All right. So let's talk a little bit about the City match. On Monday, no team had fewer shots against City in a match this season than Manchester United. Their expected goals was 3 and ours was 0.26. And Ten Hag came out and says, I think it was a good performance overall. Do you think that Ten Hag should just be kept away from microphones and post-match interviews and giving any comments on team performances, or is he onto something here?
He's onto something. I think he has to say what he feels. I think it's fair. You can't look. What we don't want people BSing, and I don't think you get that from Erik ten Hag. I don't think there's too much of an agenda with him to say, all right, I need to be careful what I say. I need to sort of go. He's going to say what he thinks. He's quite defiant like that. He's always been that sort of character where he would stand, in his position, say, I'm the coach, I'm the head coach, I'm going to lead, and I'm going to be firm. You can see by his face, he's frowning, he's always tight-lipped, and he takes it serious. So when he's answering, I don't think he's messing about he's being serious. Yeah, he actually thinks it was a good performance overall, but he's taking in. I don't think he needs to, because his English is like he's talking pidgin Dutch English in a way. I don't think we're really sort of hearing. We have to sort of translate a little bit. What he's really saying, in my belief, is that he's saying we've got injuries, we've got a number of issues at the club at the moment. But I just want to say this. Just bear with me 1 second, please. I've just got a few things to point out to you guys.
Have you got your notebook out?
I am backing him on this one. Just bear with me. Head to head. This is head to head with Klopp. When in the first 18 months, he's got a points per game average of 1.95. Klopp had 1.80. Okay. Next one. Ten Hag has got a 70% win rate in his first 50 games. That's more than Mourinho with 60%, and below that 54 Van Gaal, Moyes, and Solskjaer. This is since Fergie. So since Fergie, his win rate is more than anyone else after 50 games. He's played 100 games now. He's won 61, drawn 11, and lost 28. That's a win percentage of 61. Okay, games faced. This is about
Sorry, did you say he's lost 11?
No, he's drawn 11 and lost
All right.
28. So he's either going to win or lose if you're a betting man. But this is the thing for me. He says, I think it was a good performance overall. This season, this is the injury list and games missed through injury. Malacia has missed 35 games. Ahmad, 27. Mount, 23 games. Martinez, 22. Kobe, 17 games. Casemiro, 17 games. Shaw, 16 games. Martial, 12. Wan-Bissaka, 10. Lindelof, 10. Ericsson, 8. Haaland, 8. Amrabat, 6. Maguire, 6. Evans, 5. Varane, 5. There's a lot of players there that would be in the first team, missing loads and loads of games this season. That's why I think, with all things taken into account, I think he can say it was a good performance overall because he set up well. We were 1-0 up at half-time. Well done. Kudos to the lads. But when you switch off, when players make mistakes, which we'll go into, I'm sure, in detail, then you can understand why he's a bit disappointed, okay? So to the media, he's going to say, overall, I think it was a good performance. If you analyse it, I think we've done well to contain them in the first half, and then they took over in the second half. But we tried our best. We had a strategy. We didn't try to outplay them in a certain way. We tried to play to our strengths, and I think Erik ten Hag done some good work in the training ground to make us quite difficult to beat. If only the players would stick to that and join us in as a team thing rather than losing concentration.
All right. Well, I'm going to let the comments deal with you first before
Yeah.
I get stuck in on that. First of all, we've got Dora saying City had more shots on goal than we had possession.
27.
Incredible. Dora doesn't like the post-match reactions. Yale does not like the post-match reactions and comments from Ten Hag. Andrew, quelle surprise, he doesn't like them either. Ed Mayhem is saying, well, what we meant to say, that we're shit.
Exactly.
Okay, yep, fair comment. But Andrew has come in and said, no, today was a tough game. Man City are a fantastic team. We were weakened through injuries. We did as well as I could have expected. And Ed is saying, I'll judge him on a proper football structure with a full squad that he wants.
Ed Mayhem, fantastic.
Look, you talked about the setup. Okay, actually, we said better set. I agree with the Monday. Ten Hag is not going to feed himself to the Wolves. He will be ripped apart like our midfield against Wolves. You said that the tactics were good.
Yeah, set up well. Tried to sort of deny them space to play their football. I think we did all right, preventing them from open up chances. The only real chance they really had was the Haaland miss in the first half, and otherwise the others were.
Foden had a one-on-one.
Not, I wouldn't say it's a one-on-one. I think he closed the gap really well. He's on his right foot, but yeah,
he took it onto his right foot.
It was poor, but half chance.
It was poor play. It was poor play from him. Rodri had a decent chance as well, where he didn't quite connect with a volley properly.
Half chance.
I don't know. There's still
quite a lot of the ball. With the Haaland one was the only clear-cut chance, in my opinion. But yeah, I'll give you that. With two of them, they were sort of good chances.
To be honest, I reckon I could have missed that as well. Like I've
Why do you think? Me and Dora discussed that yesterday about how could the best striker apparently in the world
awkward height.
Thank you. Yeah, that's what we said. Oh, great minds.
Awkward height. To be honest, you got to use your tits to get that in.
Yeah,
like that's probably the way that you do it. But my big problem on Monday with this match is I'm perfectly happy with how we set up. We were nice and compact. The space we gave them was out wide. I thought Dalot dealt with Doku pretty well. I mean, Doku basically defended himself.
Yeah.
But my issue was there was absolutely no way to score a goal except for banging it over the top. The transitions were poor and there was no plan for them. And in the second half, there was a lovely little, maybe 5 minutes where we actually played football. And we should have done that all game. I thought that it's fine to set yourself up in a low block, right? Absolutely fine. I've got no issues with it. It's part of football, and I enjoy that part of football. But you have to have a plan to score a goal that isn't making Rashford and Garnacho run 60 yards against specialist monsters like Kyle Walker. It was, I thought it was amateurish what he tried to do. And when people give like Ollie like all this stick, Like Ollie was able to score those transition goals because the transitions were better planned with more players out in wide areas and more central, but also we did them nearer up the pitch. Even if you think back to like the game at Old Trafford last year, where we won 2 or 3-1, I can't. It was a 3-1, wasn't it?
2-1.
All right. Well, we had Eriksen and Bruno on the pitch, and Bruno was playing the through balls roughly on the halfway line. In this game, it was Onana from goal kicks.
Well, that's like, one chance, with the goal, for example.
Yeah, and then the other ones, like McTominay put Garnacho through in the first half, and once again he didn't get across his man. And McTominay put Rashford through in the second half, and Rashford, disappointing with what Rashford did. But the distances were too much. Like you have to get yourself as a unit more up the pitch before you do that. And that's why I thought that the tactical setup was actually pretty poor, because there was no route to scoring a goal other than agricultural football.
But saying that, by half time, I'm really been interested, been waiting to hear your view on this.
Okay.
You know? But saying that, I think in the first half, I counted 4 chances, and I think we scored one. We had one where
that wasn't a chance, was it?
It was a good break. He held up the ball well, set a man in a good position. If he didn't shoot, he could have laid in 2 guys.
Okay.
So I thought that was good, and obviously he scored from it. There was another one where Bruno hit a diagonal from the left. McTominay got himself into the box, just missed the header, and Rashford had a chance to score, and it was kind of on the back post. And there's a couple more as well, which in my notebook, which I'd have to draw for. But
I tell you what, there was that Rashford header. But what also annoyed me on Monday is that Rashford kind of he just didn't execute a header properly to get himself away from Walker.
Oh God, yeah.
He kind of headed it down onto his chest somehow. From what he then swapped Garnacho and Rashford around. They went to different wings, which is why Rashford had that chance when Bruno slightly overhit across to McTominay. But Rashford was now on the right. And the thing is Garnacho and Rashford are not lengthy players. They're not. They're explosive, right? So they're really good over 10 yards, 20 yards, 30 yards. They're not good over 60 or 70. And we were trying to certainly not Garnacho. Garnacho's not even that fast. And we're trying to play these guys in, sort of switching them on wings because everyone's terrified of Kyle Walker. And I just didn't think that we had a plan to score a goal. I know we created a couple of chances, but I think a lot of that came from that when McTominay put Garnacho in really early. I think it might have been before the goal.
Yeah.
Ake was out of position, and Ake dropped a little bit, and it's incredible how fine margins can change a game, because Ake dropped for maybe 5 or 10 minutes, and then when Ake stepped up and held his position, we didn't have a chance for the rest of the match. Yeah, incredible stuff. But let's do some comments, and then you can come back at me. Right, Dora said first half was okay, the rest of it was bad. Rashford's misses and Garnacho's overall performance were atrocious. I think we tired badly second half, a lot of which was down to the lack of squad rotation for the Forest game. I mean, also, Andrew, Bruno and McTominay and Kobe and Casemiro were really, really good in the first half in what they were doing, and they just got pulled from pillar to post. McTominay and Bruno have almost limitless energy, but they were just run ragged by how much defensive work they had to do. And I personally think that rather than that being down to lack of squad rotation, it was because we didn't get on the ball enough, and give ourselves a breather. Had to do so much running. Yes, Eric Alpha Eagle. Hello, how are you? I like your green car. Eric, it looks like a refresher. Do you remember those ice lollies? Okay, Ten Hag's tactics have to be questioned at times, especially this season. But at the same time, so do the players. Yeah. Certain players have failed under previous managers, so it'll tell you a lot.
Yeah, well said.
Yeah, it's a good point. Garnacho played 90 minutes against Forest. That performance was foreseeable. I think Andrew's been talking a lot, actually, about how Andrew really likes Garnacho, but he's played so many games without
Yeah,
a
you
break.
did say that during the week.
What's Yale saying? I would have been all right with what we saw yesterday if we'd gotten one chance against City in the second half. We produced nothing at all, which is shocking, which is kind of what I was talking to. Ollie's beaten Pep 2-3 times. His transition teams were world class. I honestly think that Ollie turned us into the best transition team in Europe. Like, I think only Real Madrid were up with how good we were on the transition. Okay. But we knew that what was going to happen at City. It did not hurt that we lost 3-1. Fulham lost that one hurt.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more. A lot were poor second half, but Rashford, who scored and was poor second half, is battered by some of our fan base. Bandwagging, low-hanging fruit. I mean,
low-hanging fruit. Wow.
Well, I mean, we deserve better. You say that, but none of them went and put an article out about how difficult it was for them to catch a couple of buses to go to training. Like, Rashford puts a target on his back a lot of the time, and not just because he fails to hit the target. He gave a tone-deaf interview, and then went out and produced a performance that lacked courage. Like, so I can understand why people are frustrated with him, because I was frustrated with him, and because I don't think that he showed enough mettle. Like, I think he bottled it against Walker every time. I don't know if Walker's got this force field that turns people. Like Rashford might be playing in pain and stuff, and that's fine. Like, well, it's not fine. It's, it should be good on him and things like that. But to put that interview out and then turn in this tepid, gutless performance, I don't think it's low-hanging fruit. I think that it's perfectly acceptable because he tried to tell us off. Evening, gents. Bath time. Some of our players seem technically sound, yet why do we struggle to keep the ball for a sustained period against most teams? Thank you, Patrick. I think that what it is that so there's something called second phase play. So you get three phases of play. You get build up play, which is basically goal kicks, and then you get creativity, which is in the final third, and then you've got second phase play, which is getting all of your sort of defensive structures, your rest defense, your counter press, all up the pitch, keeping it nice and wide and having options. And what happens with United is because of the terrible squad building over the years, we have a blend of players that are unable to support each other and get the ball up the pitch. And it's just so frustrating when you see us doing it 5 minutes against City, who are not only the best team in the world, they're one of the best teams of all time. And we kept the ball for 5 or 6 minutes against them and got ourselves up the pitch. So I think it's probably a combination of poor coaching and players cheating a little bit. Like, they're not being courageous enough to receive the ball in a tight space, play the way they're facing, and run around a bit. The other players don't get the same press coverage as him. He scored a scorcher. Yeah, but the thing is that the other players also don't put out the same amount of press coverage as he does. I've got a question. Heath played an injured Rashford, hip injury, I think he has. What do you think about injured players being put in the team? Bruno also played with an injury against Forest on Monday. What do you think about this?
I didn't know about a hip injury till afterwards. There's a Laurie Whitwall, was his name, had a statement out about it. I think if you're being passed to play, you play, and if you come off, he did come off after 60, 70 minutes. I felt it's to do with maybe. I felt he could maybe. It wouldn't be my sub to take off because he's got the pace, hopefully to create chances. But if he's injured, I understand it. There's no problem with that. People play. Look, it's like with boxers. Most boxers will tell you they go into every fight, they're always going to have some sort of niggle in something. When you're a sportsman, you're training at this high level, you're always going to have a niggle or some kind of issue. And I just think, you shouldn't even mention it because otherwise it sounds like David Hay and his big toe thing after the fact,
I mean, for me, like, I've only ever had I've had one serious injury when I was younger, which was like a broken leg and a dislocated ankle. But I was like 15, so it's never really been a problem because I hadn't even grown yet. And then I had my hip injury last year, which was awful. But there's never been a game where I haven't had some kind of pain or something like shoulder or your ankle or things like that. And I think that when you look, Yali, at what happened with Wan-Bissaka, where Wan-Bissaka was told that Heath was told, don't play him. He asked Wan-Bissaka, are you okay to play? And Wan-Bissaka, who's, danger of losing his place and things and maybe getting shipped out of the club. Well, of course, Gaffer. Of course I'll play. He played 6 minutes against Brighton and then he's been out basically ever since because he picked up a bad injury in it. So sometimes I think that you have to have a deference to authority, which is the medical authority, and that they should have a veto on players like the UN or something, because this is their career and they're always short-sighted. They're never long-sighted about their health. With the exception of Cavani, who was complete opposite. All right, Andrew, you're talking about stuff that I'm not bringing up. All right. We deserve better. Saying I don't see the lack of effort. Like, look, we deserve better, likes Rashford, and that's absolutely fine. But sometimes you sort of have to be able to look at the criticism and understand it. The criticism of Rashford is that despite injuries and all these things going on, we have seen a lack of work rate and a lack of desire this season from a player that is extremely well paid. Right.
I just say as well, no one is free from criticism at Man United. Everyone's under the spotlight. Maguire, when he makes a mistake, he's under the spotlight. The whole of social media go mad about it because he's a high-profile England international. I think the same applies to Rashford and anyone else. Anthony, any of these guys make a mistake, you're at Manchester United at the top level. Most of our games are live games shown on TV. We're always under scrutiny. So you have to learn to deal with it at this level. If you're playing for Crystal Palace, or you're playing for one of the medium teams in the league or even lower, you're going to be void of that. You're not going to get that sort of pressure. But at Manchester United, this is what happens. So deal with it, guys. Everyone's entitled to have their say. Everyone's going to be criticizing. And we're just watching game by game. And I don't think one thing we say on this channel, we're not biased. We don't have any agendas against certain players. Apart from me, really, I've got a pro agenda for Maguire because I don't like the treatment. I think it's a bit OTT. But I think Rashford, the treatment I've heard with him is justified a lot of the time, and I just think I want him to do better, and I think we all do want to see him perform better. When he scored that goal, despite us going through the interview during the week and talking about him and question marks about him, once he scored that goal, I was like, wow. Well done, man. Well done. But I ended the game being disappointed with him. So there's the contrast. You can have a good performance, score a great goal, but then you can still don't think it's over. Don't think you scored that goal and it's over. There's other issues I had throughout the game. So I'm being fair. I cheered him. It's not like some people say, I'll never cheer that guy again. I was over the moon. Go look at Mr. B's reaction to his goal. But then I also have to balance that by saying, actually, where were you for the first goal? For example, why did you go down too easily? Why didn't you do, things? This is what we're here to do. We're here to critique things, but there's no agenda, even though we are called the Man United agenda.
Yeah. Also, Andrew and we deserve better. Like, look, I'm not here to tell you how to behave, but you're both valued members of our community, and I'd be extremely upset if you two fell out over an opinion on a Man United fan channel. So please be respectful to each other. Like that's all I ask. Like, you can talk about vibrating anal beads till the cows come home, but you have to be nice to each other, or at least civil. Here's a good example. I still don't like McTominay, but I respect him. Dora sounds like the banker of what was that show with the bloke from Noel's house party, Noel Edmonds, like with the banker or something. Yeah. This is what the banker used to say to people.
I don't know if you've seen Narcos Series 2.
Of course.
Yeah, and I can't remember, but the quote always stuck with me. It was one of the gangster's sons, and he said, in one of his henchmen or something, he was hanging around with, he said, I don't like you, but I respect you, or something like that. Or if something to, I'll have to learn. I'll see if I can get it up. But it's such a killer line, and the acting was so good. He basically said, "Oh no, he was hanging around with the guy who was infiltrating the gangsters." I don't respect. All right, anyone know it? Narcos Series 2. One of the gangster's son said something to.
I suspect that it might have been "No me caes bien, pero te respeto."
Okay, something. Yeah, maybe. It's basically saying I can tolerate you. I don't. I mean, but I respect you because I respect you. But you're not my friend, sort of thing. You know. It was a great line. I'm gonna have to go and dig that one up because I love that.
Yeah, come better prepared for the shows on Monday.
Yeah,
you need to be up to date with Narcos season 2. All right, what's Yali saying? Don't hate anyone in the United team. Well, all right, Scotty. He brings out the big bad wolf in me. Maguire did make me explode in the summer when he refused the transfer, but he's won me over.
Oh.
I'm still, I mean, like, look, we love Scott McTominay on this channel. It's probably the thing that sets us apart the most. We deserve better. And Andrew are getting married. Here's Bilal with a classic. He doesn't respect McTominay, doesn't like him.
Good one. At least you're honest.
Yeah. All right. Animations. So I have animated Foden's 2 goals from yesterday, and we're not going to spend a huge amount of time going over them, but I am going to show them to you and point out some of the things that City did well and some of the things that we did really poorly. So I'm just going to share my entire screen. And are we up on Monday?
Yep, enlarge and let's go.
All right. So this is from highlights. Do you see where the ball is? Yeah.
Yep.
Right. You ready?
Okay. So KDB's got the ball. We've got almost 2 lines of 4, but someone's not got back. Foden picks up the ball, thinks it's Lindelof. It's showtime. Drives to his left foot and bends a shot into the corner of the net. Once again. Yeah, it was unstoppable. The shot was great. We had numbers behind the ball, but I just feel if Rashford could have got back in and around him rather than sulking on the floor, he might have been able to prevent that. So I felt Rashford, as much as I was celebrating him scoring the goal, I was really disappointed with this one because it wasn't a foul on him from Walker. He should have got up, got himself back in shape, and then complained if he wanted to complain. Okay. Even though he got booked by it, but he should have got back in shape.
All right, but he's not back in shape, and the team have to deal with it. These things happen. First thing on Monday is, do you remember last week where we talked about numerical overloads between the lines?
Yep.
Right. We got Silva and John Stones between the lines, and you've got Casemiro. Like, look, if we just go here, we've got 4 players dealing with 2 and not a huge amount of pressure on the ball. So that's already a problem. And we've got a big space here. So what you would normally expect with someone like De Bruyne on the ball is maybe a run in around the back of Lindelof or something. But Foden's a pretty intelligent player. And as the ball comes out to Rodri, Haaland's made a run in here and he's gone offside, and Foden is just dipping in to pick the ball up because he's identified that space. Now, there's still too many players in this area here, and this is exasperated because as the ball comes out to Foden, like Lindelof is going to chase him, and Rodri is such a little bastard. Because Rodri understands that De Bruyne can come in here to basically make a +2 rest defense with the rest of the boys, and Rodri is going to get into this corridor here.
Does he make that run?
He does make that run.
So. Now, beautiful. Well done, Rodri.
Yeah. So
I didn't notice that yesterday.
So McTominay covers it. Because he is a good boy, and that's what you should do. And he also he's done extremely well here, McTominay, because he doesn't go all the way with him. Yeah. He does the block, but the real issue, I'm afraid, is Kobbie Mainoo. because Kobe Minu has got to get into this space here. But Rodri has taken Stones has taken a step back, and Kobe's only got eyes for Stones. He doesn't realise the danger in this area here. And because McTominay has had to go with Rodri, Kobe's got to come in as the pivot and cover here, because we've got 3 players here, which is fine, but he's got to come in here and pass Stones off to Garnacho. Right, he's a young player, and this is the kind of like decision making and the speed of thought you need to have against a team like City. But as Foden shoots here, Kobe a couple of yards off, but he turns his back on the shot, and I am blaming him for it, to be honest, but he's such a young boy. You expect these mistakes.
I'm not having that half time. You're right. Yes, maybe he should be proactive and do that, but stop it there. As soon as he shoots the ball, there's numbers there. So they have done a good job. It was opened up. They have done a good job of trying to close it down as best as their ability. He scored a worldie from outside the box. They haven't played the ball through us. They haven't walked through our defence like the second goal Phil Foden scored. This one I can forgive because we weren't set up. They didn't, in the first half, they didn't have opportunities like that. Foden didn't. He always had 2 men in around him. He took advantage of that. I'm not.
This is the level, Amonde. This is the level you have to be at.
I understand what you're saying, but I think Kobe, when the ball was actually shot, he did actually come over.
And then he turns his back. He's late, and then he turns his back.
I don't see him turn his back on the animation here.
Well, but if someone can find it, I promise you, Kobe turned his back. And the thing is, right, is that this is what you expect when you have green players in your team, but turning your back is different. Like here, that Lindelof is going to get out, right, and he's going to try and force Foden somewhere. He's not going to let him turn. He's not going to give any space. And Rodri is such a dickhead because he understands that and he makes that run and he takes our best player in the block out of the block, and Kobe doesn't react. Right, and that's essentially what happened. You can blame Rashford as much as you like, and you're correct to blame Rashford because he's not in position. But players aren't always going to be in position, and you have to cover for them. It's part of being a good teammate. And
to be honest, yeah, that's a great run by Rodri. I didn't know that. He's run actually, like you were saying the other day about the channel, and Scott had to really deal with it. But then Scott did stop and say, "All right, hold on, let me just try and block this shot as well." It's a really good goal, to be honest. I mean, we could critique this all day and point things out. My whole point is, when we were set up with proper 11 players behind the ball, I don't think that would have happened because Rashford would have been in and around him. They saw that he wasn't there because he's moaning, crying up the field, and took advantage. And that's why Foden was so positive to actually go, thinking, right, all I've got is Lindelof here. A bit like last season when he was up against, when Saka was up against Eriksen on his own. He's up against Luke Shaw all game, and then Saka was up against Eriksen. He scored from a similar area at the Emirates against us. So you're right, and I hope Kobe can learn from that. But I do think it's kind of harsh, really harsh. But you're right, though.
But City are harsh. That's the point.
That's the reality of it, yeah.
Is that when you talk about someone like Foden and people like Rodri, you're talking about the best players in the world.
Yeah.
And this is why they're the best players in the world, because those 2 or 3 yard gaps, that understanding of the space around them, they exploit it. And if we want to get to that level, we need players that can read that situation. And for when people say they hate McTominay and stuff like that, McTominay is pretty good at reading this situation. It's one of the reasons why managers like him, because he's extremely good.
I just want to say that Rodri run, that was something I haven't seen, and I've just seen it now, and that makes it more understandable what a great goal, that team goal that was. We're not in those situations well enough. We're being accused of not having patterns of play, but we're not in those situations enough for people to be able to do off the ball runs like that, and trusting that Phil Foden's got the ball and he's going to be able to do something special and keep it.
Yeah, but it's more than that. It's Stones' movement to go inside and just get Mainu to take a step. It's right. Kevin De Bruyne dropping back, because like if I'll show it again, and I'll show you. I'll do the comments and then I'll show you something else that I really liked in it. We said better. We haven't had a decent captain in over a decade. I liked Ashley Young as a captain, to be honest. But I know what you're saying. Are you guys using Football Managers to do this? No, I use a program called Tactical Board Online. Mine in 2 years will be in the right place. I hope so, Yarli. And that's the point, is that with Garnacho and with Kobe and young players, even Rasmus at times, that they don't have enough experience to draw upon to know what to do in those situations. So you hope players like Casemiro, Bruno, McTominay can kind of get them through these situations. So I know I'm being harsh on Mainu, but that is what went wrong, and it's because it's fine margins essentially. So hopefully he can learn from it. Haaland and Rodri open up our defense, apps 100%. But like, right, look at this, Monday. No, that's the second. Is this? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So here, when Foden is on the ball, Stones is pointing that way. And the thing is, right, is that if Rashford is here, where we want him to be, you've got Kevin De Bruyne, Ake, and Doku. Foden can pop it to Kevin De Bruyne, and they can move out here where they have manipulated Bruno and Dalot into the exact same positions that they did in the 6-3. Do you remember when they swapped McTominay and Dalot around?
Yeah.
They've done it again. Like, even though that this is a moment of genius, like curling that in there, they've still got options. And now they've got their strongest header of the ball, a 6'3" player at the back post, and they've got a passing network to be able to get it to be able to get it into this zone here. Like, they're absolutely extraordinary. So it's Stones and Kevin De Bruyne play as big a role in this as Rodri, Haaland, Silva, and the rest of them. They're all in the right place and they're all offering passing angles, and they exploit that Rashford / Kobe aren't there. But you know, if Kobe is there, then they've got another route to goal. It's just disgusting how good they are at football.
Yeah.
But anyway,
credit where it's due. Credit where it's due. And detailed thing. I know what to say now. I was yesterday. It's not just Rashford. I can see you have to get, like you said, you have to take your hat off to the City. Magnificent.
All right, this is the second goal. This is Foden's second goal.
I just want to apologise. Yesterday, I thought the right back. I thought I didn't realise he was sort of closing down someone on the touchline there, KDB, because the ball was played into an area where I thought he should have been closer to Alvarez.
All right, well, we'll play it and then we'll go through it again. But I'm going to give you a hint. Numerical supremacy between the lines is going to be big here again.
Big up, Almighty Blues. How you doing? Long time no see. Here we go.
Are you going to do the commentary?
You're going to have to rewind because I got distracted by Almighty Blues. How you doing, man? So here we go. Foden picks up the ball, plays to Alvarez. Alvarez plays the return ball. He gets in on goal. Lovely first time. Lovely left-footed shot. First time he controlled the ball with his right on the move. Alvarez picked him out and he ran in between the channel, or Varane had to go out there to try and pick him up because the right back was kind of the wrong side. Foden came inside the two centre-backs and slotted it in the corner of the goal. Very good goal here. But you were talking about the players in between the lines.
Yeah. So this is Foden over here. Silva's gone out here, and we're in a
Silva.
Bernardo Silva.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so we're in a reasonable position, but they have compacted play deliberately onto this side of the pitch, and Foden and Stones are nearly stepping on each other's feet. Casemiro's picking up Foden. Kobe is on Stones. Scott is on Rodri. We've got a +1 here, and the distances are fine here. But maybe Garnacho could be here, and maybe like Bruno or Anthony should really be cutting out that pass there. But this is what happens. So Foden does a really annoying movement because he goes to run the channel and then cuts back inside, and he's increased that distance from Casemiro.
Yeah.
And the big fall off with Casemiro is his inability to judge distances. So Casemiro comes out, and Alvarez just moves off onto the blind side, right? So first of all, when Casemiro goes out here, Varane and Kobe, one of them has got to take responsibility for Alvarez.
What about Willie?
Willie's out of the game. Like the ball gets played past him. He's cutting off Kevin De Bruyne. He's a young player. Casemiro's got it wrong. And then this guy here, John Stones. It's unreal how good a centre half is here, because he does Kobe again with the same movement of he pulls out, right? Just here, he takes a step backwards. Varane, because Kobe has gone with Stones, Varane's got to get out to Alvarez.
Yeah.
Varane gets out to Alvarez. This is essentially now the channel. Kobe is focused on John Stones, and Foden gets access to the channel. And it's played through.
So John Stones again is doing some masterful stuff.
Yeah.
In midfield.
And, Alvarez just getting in on the blind side, just getting in the, like, do you remember what we say, behind and between?
Yeah.
It's getting behind and between. Casemiro sells himself, which is the first real problem. And ideally, I think Kobe has to cover that run, pass Stones off to Scott, and then we hope that Bruno can get back. But it happens so fast. But the thing is that Heath likes his pivots to man mark, and I think that basically this is what Pep did in the second half, is by putting both of the pivot players in the same zone, he opened up huge gaps in our defence because they only had eyes for each other. And Kobe gets done on his blind side there. Lindelof isn't out quick enough. Onana doesn't do well, but I mean, most people would expect the pullback here to Haaland. And it's just, it's once again a goal of kind of fine margins where there's one big error made by Casemiro. He doesn't know his distances. Yeah. He doesn't slow down, close down, show down. He just charges in.
Doesn't chase back for the two.
He's too slow. He's too slow. And technically, if that is the channel, it is the job of Kobe Mainoo to get in between those two players to shut it out. And he doesn't do it.
But what about Willie? You letting Willie get away with this?
Well,
I felt Willie could have sprinted. Look, it's a small area. This is like a small zone you're dealing with. Willie's got to sprint back. Right. I'm not inside my man. I'm outside. I'm out of the game. He needs to sprint back in and around Alvarez as soon as he sees that run.
Sure. But the thing is that Kevin De Bruyne is his man, right? That's how he sees it.
Yeah, but it's not forever, is it? It's his man at one phase. As soon as the ball's played somewhere else, he's got to adjust and get back into his position, which should be.
Varane should be telling him. Right? It's like, the thing is that both Kobe and Willie are extremely young players, and the person that can see everything here is Varane. And Varane should be talking to both of them, like as this great Rolls Royce that he is. He doesn't talk to either of them, does he?
One thing I will say, it's a great goal. Like the other goal, it's a great goal to open us up. in a tight area where there's a lot of players. So it takes a masterful team, well-oiled, well-drilled team like City to do that. Take your hat off to them. But then if we're really going to break it down, I think Casemiro, yes, he should have gone with the 1. With the 2, Foden played the 1. Obviously, he didn't get there close enough. Gave him a chance to play the 1 into Alvarez. But the 2, you got to say, right, I need to go with this guy. And he didn't. I think Willie should be inside of Alvarez, work his ass off. I know I've seen the goal. I've looked at it, see where he was. I think it's hard for him, but at least put the guy under pressure. And then that stops Varane coming over. Because if Varane stays where he is, Foden gets blocked out.
Yeah. But this is right. This is the thing, is that I agree with you. Like, Willie isn't positioned well, but I think he's a centre-back and he's a young boy. And I will forgive players' positional mistakes at this age, right? Because it's just you're beating yourself to death if you don't. But they get done by the movement of Alvarez, who is like, Willie is expecting the ball to go into KDB. Fine, right? He's a bit too tunnel-visioned. A proper pro calls him here and tells them that there's a man behind. Right, it's 15 yards at most. He can hear him. Varane then goes out as he has to, and Kobe doesn't come in. But the reason I think that this is a worse error, like Kobe not coming in, is that Varane has to tell Kobe here. He has to tell him.
So you're saying Varane should tell Willie and Kobe where to be?
Yes, I
can't give Kobe the thing. You know, I'm not saying like shirking responsibility by doing his job, but he is doing his job because he's in and around a player.
That's his job to protect the channel.
He's doing the job by Stones. Like you said, Stones has done something masterful there by staying with Stones. There's 2-on-2 there, Stones and Rodri with McTominay and Rodri. The first goal, you're saying he should have come across, but Rashford should have been doing his job there. So Kobe could say, if say they go back in the change room and the manager gives Kobe hell, he could say, hold on a minute, I was doing my job. Look, he could say that.
He could, but then you would say your priority as a midfielder here is to protect the channel.
Yeah.
That is your priority. And he doesn't have to get here, right, and stand in between them. He has to be there. Right? He has to be stopping that pass inside. Right? Because when you draw the lines, Kobe Mainu has to be in between those lines here when the ball is there. That's just a basic of like midfield play. And then, right, Casemiro is going to go on to Stones, or McTominay will track. If one of these two makes a run, McTominay is going to track them.
So you think if McTominay was in Kobe's position, he would have had the experience?
We've just seen it with his covering of Rodri.
Yeah.
But the thing is that in this situation here, Kobe Mainoo's got to force the ball out wide, right? And by doing that, he's got to be here. So he's got to get the ball backwards or over there. That is what he should be thinking of. But John Stones has been an absolute nightmare to play against all match. And once again, it's just a step or two because he doesn't have the experience. So like, I can't really be cross with Kobe because this is what happens when you put young boys in against the greatest team in Europe. Yeah. But these are the fine margins that get you done. And the person that annoys me the most is Varane, because I think if he talks more and he leads the back line, I think that this is preventable just by helping Willie and Kobe, the rookies, out. And maybe I'm putting too much on Varane here, but you know, you've got like a trophy room between these two, and I don't think that they're helping our young players particularly here. But that is just me, and I'll run it one more time before I find out what I've got wrong from the comments. And Anana should do better as well.
I agree. Double A makes a good comment on here.
All right, I haven't seen all of the comments, and there's so many here. So Amanda hasn't starred anything, but like, forgive
sorry,
me.
yeah.
Okay.
So, which is why we're waiting. I just want to say, make sure you like, subscribe, share, and comment live as well, guys. Thanks for the new graphics, Mr. B.
Yeah, like, I just hate asking people for likes and subscribes and things
Part
like
of the
that.
job, man. It's part of just like
not,
Kobe. Kobe hates having to sort of.
It's not a job though to me. Like, and I hate donations and all these sort of things. You guys just, if you like the content, watch it. That's all you need to do. Be nice to each other. This is the reason why City is the best team in the world right now. Yeah. Thank you very much, Almighty Blues. Willie is at fault, but for me, Casemiro was poor there as well. Yeah. Different topic, then I'm not going to talk about it. Just went and watched Foden's first goal. Pretty fair from Darius. Mine was slow across and turned his back. Thank you, Andrew. This weekend, Andrew, I'm very excited to see Dune 2 because I've read the books and I can't wait to see if they make Paul Atreides the villain that he is. Right. Pep realised Delo on form, so just switches Foden with Bernardo to Tess Camboila. Yeah, I mean, we switched Delo first, and it annoyed me because I think that Delo, you saw a real lack of like attacking power from him on the left hand side, where he struggles like with a lack of a left foot, to be honest. And I felt that when we moved him and Garnacho onto the right, instead of like in a transition, you basically want to go wide at first and try and pull players into wide areas to clear the middle. But because they're both naturally right-footed, they were inclined to sort of cut inside. And I felt, once again, this was poor planning about our sort of counter-attacks. City does make it look very easy. They bloody don't. Harley, I watch City and I cannot believe the speed of thought that these players have. It's amazing. Blackmore 79, blaming Kobe for both goals. Wow, lads. Not really blaming Kobe for them. I'm just saying that like a more experienced player would make more experienced decisions. And you can't blame someone for not having experience in these situations.
No, they said more twice there.
What, for Blackmore?
Yeah.
Nice.
Not Nathan.
Onana could have done a bit better for this guy. Absolutely, Onana. I mean, I thought Onana had a really good game myself, but he just made a really poor error, and it's annoying.
You know what's hard? Sometimes, like, when it's down low like that, for keeper to get down low and save the ball with a strong hand is difficult. Sometimes you might have to use your feet in that situation, like De Gea used to.
I don't know anything about goalkeeping, to be honest.
No, it's hard. If it's shot low in this corner like Foden did, for you, and you're standing like that, for you to get down, you might as well just use your feet.
Well, I have to say, when I watched it, I was never a massive fan of De Gea, but De Gea says that all day for me with one of his foot saves.
With his feet, yeah.
All right. Hooking off Doku and the positional change of Foden from right to left killed us. Yeah.
I thought so. Doku came on for Alvarez, and I was thinking, okay, Alvarez, he's going to play wide. And it's only after a few minutes I noticed what he did. So double A, good observation there.
Yeah, and it was like the thing is that like what was quite interesting is that Doku was sort of going wide. So when he was against Delo, he was their kind of outball. They were trying to get 1v1s against him. Like maybe they thought that Lindelof was going to play right back or something. You know, I don't know. But Doku had a bit of a mare. But it's really interesting that like when Foden was out there, Foden cut back into space. And by doing that, he opened up more space for combinations and things. And I personally don't think that Lindelof does too much wrong. Like if he's 6 inches taller or has a longer leg, he might stop it. But it was like, it's just Pep's the best for this reason, that he can see and he can react and things. It's very annoying. Bruno or Anthony should have been further back to help the defense. We've seen this in so many games. Yep. I agree. I think that like Bruno should have been cutting out the pass to I think it was Rodri, and then Scott could have got a bit deeper, and Anthony should have been cutting out the pass to Ake. Like that's what they should have been doing. But in a game state and things, people are not always going to be in the right position. Like, and you have to sort of adjust to it. But there was a bit of walking from both of them, to be honest. And I can forgive Bruno a little bit because this is the 80th minute and he's put a hell of a shift in. But Anthony, man, you're playing for your life, and you certainly don't look like it. Great observation. Kobe was good in attacking breaks in the second half, but maybe should have been more aware defensively. Thank you. I thought Kobe was really good in the first half. Like him and Casemiro basically man-marked their pivots, and like I thought they did. I thought they did a really good job. I think that the first 20 minutes was really, really good from United, and then that little Ake adjustment and us being forced back a little bit deeper, like, and a lack of the left foot on the left-hand side made things hard. But
just want to say, big up to Almighty Blues. Make sure you go and subscribe to that channel. Obviously, we're a big community here, but Almighty Blues does some fantastic content for Chelsea, and yeah, one of the originators here. So big up, doing really well, and all the way from India as well.
Oh, shout out! All right, look, we've done an hour and 10 minutes. I've got loads of extra stuff that I'm not going to show. We can maybe do that tomorrow or another time. But what I am going to show is a picture of a dog in a sink that I found that I really liked from a Twitter account called We Rate Dogs. And don't worry, every dog gets at least 13 out of 10. Like, no dog gets a low score. But
I love the elbow, the pose.
Yeah. What an elegant dog. It looks like he's going to start talking to you about, like, Proust or something.
How's your day?
Yeah. Like, just on the bus, isn't it?
Yeah. That's a lovely thing to keep it up, because I just want to say, like, dogs are really, really great. And everyone, if you haven't had a dog, I would advise you. I used to hate dogs when I was a kid, because back in the day, no one picked up dog.
Really?
No one picked up dog poo from the streets. So sometimes, I remember many times having to scrape them out of the grooves of my trainer, my soles, and being so upset with dogs. Or dogs used to roam on the streets back then, and so there's certain roads I wouldn't have to walk down because I know there'd be a dog standing outside his house barking. So, and I actually had the dog when I was younger, but we had to get rid of it because I was too scared. It was so excitable. We had to keep it in the garden, and then all it did wanted was some love. But now I've got 3 dogs, and I just want to say this dog looks really intelligent, and what a lovely, breed these are. I think they're golden retrievers or kind of Labradors. Lovely, lovely dogs. They love water as well. I love diving in the river. It's great. It's just absolutely great. And I saw a thing today about dog guard dogs. There's 2 things I'll show you. Shane from Paxton Road TV sent me one of these. You know when these sheepdogs do these drills where they go through little tunnels, jump over
they're doing circuits.
Yeah.
3 times 3 plus 2.
Yeah, at speed though, going through tunnels, jumping on, going through hurdles, wibbling through, slalom through the posts and that kind of thing. Amazing that you can train a dog to do that. And the other thing I saw was it was in America. You had these guard dogs guarding little baby goats. This is today. I was watching this. Guard dogs guarding baby goats from coyotes, and they would go out there and if they heard anything, you could see them on camera at night with night vision, going out and guarding, looking after them. If the baby goes out of order or going out of...
That's what Casemiro should be doing to
Kobe.
Yeah,
exactly. It's just like a shepherd. It's such a beautiful thing. And I think what great animals to have around to help you out. And anyone's got them. You must love dogs. They're so intelligent. My 3, they're like my family. I've had a day off work today. They're sitting here with me now, like just chilling, waiting for me to finish so we can chill together. Because it's just a wonderful thing. So dogs are highly intelligent, and they do what they're told. If you train them like you train footballers, like Man City, like what's his name? Pep should get dog trainer of the year because he's got his dogs down to T. If the wolves come and want to attack, they shepherd them out. They clear the danger. And this
I would love to see Pep as like the football and shepherd of like Andalusia. What he would get them dogs to do. Like, did you see the way he spoke to the 4th official in the game yesterday? Like, he was trying to seduce him. Like, it was Pep's such a weirdo, man, but he'd be a great shepherd.
Yeah.
Right,
what picture? What picture? Can you send me that, please? I'm going to post it.
No. Yes, I will. We've got Yale, and I know that his dog is called Bolto because Bolto mugged him for his dinner the other day, and we didn't realise that it was a dog. We thought he was just getting robbed. But he is just black and brown. He took me for a ride on our walk today. I got a proper workout. Yeah. Similar look, nice bit of personality with your dog, which I like. And Dora is talking about dogs shitting in towns.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has taken a few of my burgers. Like, well, you can't deny them. Like, look, if this guy said to me, "I'll give us your dinner, mate," I'll probably give it to him. So that has been us. If you like cute, actually, Yale, here's something for you. If you follow us on social media, it's ticking away at the bottom. Send us pictures of your pets, and I'll put them on the present. I'll put them on the PowerPoints at the end, like, so we can always end with a nice little treat, which would be good. But anyway, I'd like to thank Amonde for joining me. And more importantly, I'd like to thank so many of you, like 14, 15 people we've had in tonight that have like stayed and listened to us talking about doping people up in the Olympics, Fury versus Ngannou, June 2, and having to put up with us bickering over Kobe Mainoo's positioning and things like that. We're always delighted when you come and watch. And like, if you want to give a like, but I'm just very pleased that you think that it's a worthwhile use of your time to spend it with us, and we're so proud that you think that's it. So it's a good night from me.
And just backing up, the dog just backing up what Bath Time said. He said, "Let that sink in."